You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
Another life saved on Spring River by Cindy Harris.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Josh Sawyer and Jesse Alcala, both local young men, set out on a fishing trip on July 20th, just another lazy, sunny summer day, or so they thought. Neither knew that they would be instrumental in saving the life of an out-of-town tourist who had an accident on the Spring River and was in danger of drowning. As Sawyer said, "We put in our John boat near the Hardy Beach to fish for a while. We had a trolling motor on it, and it was late in the afternoon, so we thought we would fish an hour or so. Not too long after we were in the boat, as we were nearing Crescent Falls, just below High Falls, we saw a middle-aged man standing on top of the falls, waving his hands and yelling for help," Sawyer recalled. The falls were about 5 feet high, and at first the two men couldn't see what the man was upset about. Then, according to Sawyer, they jumped in the falls and saw the girl stuck with water rushing over her head and face. She was stuck in such a position that the rushing water was pushing her legs out away from her. They got to her, and the first thing Sawyer did was loop his arms under her armpits, trying to keep her head out of the water while holding one hand out flat to deflect the water that kept pounding her face and mouth. He said she was crying hysterically, off and on, and then when he got a grip on her, he told her to calm down, you're going to be okay. He stated that at that time, she seemed to be less frightened. Sawyer said then Alcala went underwater to see what was pinning her down and realized her hips were wedged between some rocks. According to Sawyer, while I held her head out of the water, Alcala kept going under, trying to loosen her hips until she was finally able to get free. He said, "It was a very intense moment. When it was over, the three of us were so exhausted, physically and mentally, that we just sat on top of the falls for about 5 minutes. That's when Sawyer and Alcala learned that the young lady and the two other members of her party were from out of town and were floating the river on a raft when the accident occurred. Sawyer said by then the Hardy Fire Department and EMTs had arrived and assisted them in getting safely to shore. They checked her out, and other than bruises and scrapes, she sustained no major injuries. Firemen who responded were Josh Bennett, Rick Blunt, Steve Garner, Chris Grafey, James Griffin, Jason Griffin, David Henry, James Hutchison, Ernie Rose, Carol Traw, and Gerald Traw. Thanks for listening to Spring River Chronicle Audio on the Go. Be sure to subscribe and check us out online at myspringriver.com.